Another public holiday for everyone.
What better way to honour a woman who has laboured tirelessly under the twin yokes of duty and service than a day off work, which West Australians will probably follow with a sickie on Friday, so we can string together a 5-day mini break ending on the Queen's birthday, which is not even remotely close to her actual birthday. Not that anyone seems to care about that. Most of the rest of the world celebrates it on the second Saturday in June, but takes a public holiday on the Monday. I say most of the rest of the world because in New Zealand they celebrate the Queen's birthday on June 5, and should June 5 happen to be on a weekend, as occurred this year, they take their public holiday on Monday, June 6, which, to add to the confusion, happens to be WA Day.
I see.
WA Day's presence in the calendar in the month of June is the reason we observe the Queen's birthday in September. 2 public holidays in 1 month is apparently too much for business to bear.
Next year we'll be calling it the King's birthday.
Which is actually on November 14. Tributes are continuing to flood in for Queen Elizabeth, including one from this man. George Lazenby, who played James Bond after Sean Connery quit, starred in the 6th film in the franchise, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which by all accounts is one of the better instalments.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
The Australian actor started his tribute tweet with a degree of respect and class before his inner Australian bogan got the better of him, and he signed off with "Love George, kiss kiss." Turns out Her Majesty wasn't the only lady with whom George was over familiar. He was at the Perth Concert Hall on Saturday night as part of a Music of James Bond event. The WA Symphony Orchestra played well-known pieces from different Bond films, in between George regaling guests with tales of his exploits. It's like Comic-Con for posh people.
What the hell are you supposed to be?
Every nerd's fantasy, baby.
One attendee said he and his wife had gone to the Perth Concert Hall expecting a night of sublime music and interesting stories. They got an hour of George talking about his own and where he'd put it.
If there's anything you ever need...
Thank you, Q, but this time I've got the gadgets. I know how to use them.
The 83-year-old delivered 2 rambling on-stage performances, the second of which was cut short when he was booed off stage. He's now been dropped from the next show in Melbourne.
Well, apparently he's not the only one being cancelled.
Troy Mercanti barred from going to his local pub.
Pub fight?
No, not even drinking. He was at the Corrine Glades Tavern to have a coffee and read the paper. Police were at the front door when he arrived on Sunday afternoon, and they said, "You're not allowed in."
Dispersal notice?
No.
The tats?
No, not the insignia laws, not even an anti-association order. He was barred from entry under Section 155 of the Liquor Control Act 1988. That allows police to pretty much do anything they want with regarding who can go to the pub. Section 155 of that Act says the Commissioner of Police, that's this guy, shall issue all such orders and give all such directions to members of the police force, that's these guys, as may in the opinion of the Commissioner be necessary to ensure the lawful and orderly conduct, blah, 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 and ensure the good behaviour of persons present on those premises. Mercanti was by himself. He was sober. He was not showing tattoos or bikie colours. He was going to have a cup of coffee and read the Sunday Times newspaper. Apparently, the simple act of being himself is now unlawful.
Okay, so it's kind of illegal.
Illegal to be Troy Mercanti, that's pretty much it.
You were in violation of the law!
Mercanti's in the headlines so often now, his lawyer is almost as recognisable as he is. Paul Holmes, who appears to have recently raided John Kizon's wardrobe, has been trawling through the Liquor Act, and he reckons the cops' actions might not have been legal. Holmes says the inclusion of the word necessary suggests the law intends that police act if something untoward is actually happening, that someone is actually misbehaving, not potentially going to misbehave.
Oh, behave.
Mercanti was also searched when he arrived at the pub. That was under the Misuse of Drugs Act, which incidentally requires a reasonable suspicion that the person may have drugs on them.
Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, oh, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
Well, he is a career bikie.
That's true. The cops are all over this guy like a cheap suit, though. Bikies aren't astrophysicists, but they aren't going to make gang crime's job that easy. There are 700 patch bikies in WA, but only one that's receiving such personalised service.
This never happened to the other fella.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more update, click the subscribe button below.